Good evening to our viewers watching on television and to those joining us across our social media platforms. I am Daniela Arajo with the Thursday, July 30th edition of the Guyana TV9 News. In the headlines tonight, the truth must come out. President Ali promise as MV Bereima probe begins. Minister issues a strong warning to construction workers. No difference counseling for MV Bereima crew members after murder charges, says Prime Minister. I didn't know if I was going to live. MV Bereima hero speaks out after saving 11 people. And big ideas beyond $3 million Guyana dollars. Minister says entrepreneurs can access up to $10 million Guyana dollars and more through new bank partnerships. And now for the news in depth. Answers may finally be on the horizon for the families affected by the deadly MV Bereima tragedy. On Thursday, the 5-member Commission of Inquiry was officially sworn in, marking the start of an investigation that President Dr. Irfan Ali says will uncover exactly what happened and ensure those responsible are held accountable. Brad D'Souza has the details.
Speaking during the swearing-in ceremony, President Ali declared that the country deserves a full, fair, and impartial account of the events that led to the disaster.
I'm pleased that we have been able to move with dispatch to formally swear in the chairman and members of the Commission of Inquiry, established to investigate the tragic events of July the 18th, 2026. That tragedy brought immeasurable grief to families, communities, and to our entire country, even as we continue to mourn those who lost their lives and stand in solidarity with the survivors and their loved ones. And we have an equal solemn duty to establish the truth. Our nation deserves a full, fair, and impartial account of what occurred.
The head of state also assured the commission that the government will provide whatever administrative, technical, and financial support is needed to carry out a comprehensive investigation.
I wish to assure you that the government will provide the commission with administrative, technical, financial, and logistical support necessary for the effective discharge of its mandate. Every resource required to facilitate a thorough, professional, and independent inquiry will be made available.
Heading the inquiry is Belizean Justice Godfrey Philip Smith, joined by Captain Hamada Fuda, Nairi Don Alfonso, Rear Admiral Retired Hayden Pritchard, and Dr. Andrzej Jastrzynowski. President Ali said the panel brings together extensive expertise in law, maritime operations, marine engineering, maritime regulations, and disaster investigations, giving them the experience needed to examine every detail of the case. The Commission has been tasked with determining the full circumstances surrounding the sinking of the MV Bereima. Investigators will examine everything from the loading of the vessel and the boarding of passengers to onboard conditions, the capsizing and sinking itself, along with any other factors that may have contributed to the tragedy. In addition to establishing the cause of the disaster, the inquiry will assess whether search, rescue, and recovery operations were adequate and effective. Commissioners will also determine whether ferry safety laws, regulations, and operating procedures were followed, and investigate whether negligence, misconduct, or failures by any individual or institution played a role. The vessel's seaworthiness, maintenance history, and the competence of its crew will also come under scrutiny. Once the investigation is complete, the Commission is expected to recommend reforms to strengthen maritime safety, improve emergency response systems, and reduce the risk of similar tragedies occurring in the future. The MV Bereima disaster claimed the lives of 73 people, while another 30 remain unaccounted for. 76 passengers survived the incident, leaving countless families still searching for answers as the Commission begins what is expected to be one of the country's most significant maritime investigations. Brad D'Souza reporting for Guyana TV9 News.
Construction workers and employers across Guyana are being urged to make workplace safety a top priority as the Ministry of Labor and Manpower Planning launches a nationwide campaign aimed at changing the country's safety culture. The construction industry has been chosen as the first sector to benefit from the initiative because of the high risks workers face on job sites. More in this report.
Speaking at the workplace safety seminar, Minister of Labor and Manpower Planning Keamu Griffith stressed that creating safe workplaces requires a collective effort. He reminded employers, contractors, and workers alike that protecting lives is everyone's responsibility and called for greater commitment to enforcing safety standards at every level of the industry. Minister Griffith acknowledged that Ghana still faces significant challenges when it comes to workplace safety, noting that unsafe practices have become too common in some environments. He urged those in attendance to help build a stronger culture where following safety procedures becomes second nature rather than an afterthought. The seminar held at the Officers' Mess in Georgetown marked the sixth workplace safety symposium hosted by the ministry. According to the minister, the sessions are designed to do more than raise awareness. They are intended to equip employers and employees with the knowledge needed to understand the workplace safety is essential and cannot be ignored. As part of the campaign, the ministry plans to take similar safety symposiums to every region of the country. The minister explained that officials will not only educate workers but also assess the existing safety culture in each region so targeted measures can be introduced to address specific weaknesses and improve compliance. With the construction industry serving as the campaign's starting point, the minister appealed directly to contractors, builders, and site supervisors to lead by example. He said, occupational health and safety continues to be a concern in Guyana, adding that the ministry will intensify site work inspections to ensure safety regulations and protocols are being properly followed. Minister Griffith also challenged every worker to become an advocate for safe practices on the job, encouraging them to influence their colleagues to follow established procedures. He warned against risky behavior, including reporting to work while impaired, stressing employers must remain alert to hazards and take every possible step to prevent accidents and protect lives. Adana Doric, Guyana TV9 News.
Guyana is reaffirming its commitment to combating human trafficking as the country observes World Day Against Trafficking in Persons under the theme Stronger Connections, Stronger Futures Together Against Human Trafficking. The Ministry of Home Affairs and Ministerial Task Force highlighted ongoing efforts to prevent exploitation, protect victims and survivors, and prosecute traffickers. Measures include strengthened legislation, victim-centered services, public education, frontline training, and greater regional cooperation. Guyana has also maintained its Tier 1 ranking in the U.S. Trafficking in Persons report for 9 consecutive years. Authorities stress that continued vigilance and collaboration are essential as traffickers increasingly exploit migration, technology, and vulnerability. More news after the break. Do stay with us.
I know you have work to do, but come, I just need a minute of your time. It won't even take that long. So, I have a proposal. We could do besties in Punta Cana. Really need a getaway. And not to worry, I went to Sunita Travel Agency and they recommended a few hotels that do all-inclusive stays. And they're very affordable. The vibes. Let me tell you something. We do not want to miss a trip to Punta Cana. Why? Ziplining. No, I know this is not your vibe, but please, listen. Hold on, wait. I know you like throw it back. There's a boat party. We could go there. And then there's this thing called buggy adventure, some buggy something. I don't know, but I want to be a buggy or whatever it is. I just want to be a part of it. And then we got snorkeling. Oh, this thing is so ugly. Please, you be next to uglier things than this. Stop it. Trust me, you're going to love it. It'll be just you and me, Punta Cana, drinks, just having the time of our life. Not to worry. We've got many flight options, and they made sure that I went through it with me. The prices are affordable. Trust me, I know you like thinking about the budget or whatever. Remember the time when we went and we missed the flight? Yeah, when we booked with Sunita Travel Agency. Even if it happens, with slim chance, they'll know what to do, and we won't be stranded like we did the last time. This solid plan. You, me, Punta Cana. Cheap. It won't even hurt your pocket. Please say yes. Yes.
Welcome back. You're watching Guyana TV9 News Bulletin. Minister Zulfikar Ali is encouraging Guyanese entrepreneurs to think beyond the Guyana Development Bank's 3 million Guyana dollars zero interest, zero collateral loan program, saying larger and well-prepared business proposals can qualify for significantly more financing through partnerships with commercial banks. Here's more in this report.
The minister explained that entrepreneurs with bankable business ideas requiring more than Guyana $3 million should still approach the Guyana Development Bank, as arrangements are being finalized with commercial banks to provide additional funding. Under the initiative, applicants could combine the development bank's financing with commercial bank loans to fund projects valued at $10 million or even more.
Speaking about the bank in various communities that don't see an idea as just $3 million. If you have a very bankable idea, if you have a very good business idea that you want to implement and it's more than $3 million that you need, still come into the bank, because we are working with other commercial banks as well. And you can access up to $10 million, $7 million from the commercial banks, $3 million from the development bank, and you have a $10 million project, or even more. It depends on what you're doing and how you're doing it and how prepared you are.
Minister Ali also urged Guyanese to embrace partnerships and consortiums rather than pursuing ventures individually. He said groups of entrepreneurs can combine their individual $3 million loans to finance larger investments in sectors such as tourism, agro-processing, manufacturing, and other value-added industries that can create jobs and expand local production. Using the example of a tourism project, the minister noted that 10 individuals joining together could each access a $3 million loan, creating a combined pool of $30 million to establish a business such as a villa or manufacturing facility. He emphasized that such consortiums would be guided by proper governance structures and bylaws to ensure transparency and accountability among all members.
President Ali has asked that we start thinking a lot away from doing things by ourselves and to come together in consortiums, come together in partnerships. So imagine if 10 persons come together and they said they want to open a nice villa somewhere for tourism, or you want to invest in value-added, a manufacturing plant, because we have an abundance of fruits and vegetables, and 10 of you come together, you take a loan of $3 million, that's interest-free, collateral-free, that's $30 million, and you could actually buy the plant and set it up and have it running.
While the Guyana Development Bank provides interest-free and collateral-free loans, Ali reminded prospective borrowers that commercial banks operate differently and may require collateral and charge interest, depending on the financing being sought. However, he said discussions are ongoing to allow the development bank's financing to assist applicants in securing additional commercial funding where possible. The minister further disclosed that the financing process is being designed to be seamless and digitally accessible, allowing borrowers to monitor loan disbursements, repayments, and other services through their mobile devices. He said the goal is to simplify access to financing while maintaining transparency and efficiency throughout the application process. According to Ali, the initiative is intended to empower young people, women, single mothers, and persons with disabilities to transform innovative ideas into successful businesses. He encouraged anyone with a viable business concept to prepare a solid business plan and engage with the Guyana Development Bank, stressing that Guyana's expanding economy presents unprecedented opportunities for entrepreneurship and investment. Brad D'Souza reporting for Guyana TV9 News.
Job Storm, a resident of Whitewater Village in Region 1, is sharing his emotional journey after surviving the tragic sinking of the MV Bereima, an incident that left families grieving and communities searching for answers. Tom, who emerged as one of the heroes of the disaster after helping to save 11 people, says he is still coming to terms with the frightening moments he experienced. Here's more in this report.
Speaking about the aftermath of the tragedy, Thom revealed that the experience left him physically and emotionally drained. Despite the pain and stress, he said he is determined to continue moving forward while remembering those who were lost.
After this incident, we was feeling kind of, weak and stressed, but yeah, keep it going.
Thom recalled the terrifying uncertainty he faced when the vessel went down, saying there was a moment when he was unsure whether he would survive. The memory of that day remains vivid as he reflects on the lives lost and the people who depended on him during the crisis.
Before I said to know if I was gonna live. Today was good, talking to the president for the very first time, so it was good to meet him in person. Kind, he's very humble. Feel very glad because, the people that lost the loved one, they really need support, so very happy that he came.
The survivor also spoke about meeting President Dr. Muhammad Irfan Ali for the first time, describing the encounter as a meaningful moment during a period of grief and recovery. Thom said he appreciated the president's presence and the support offered to survivors and families affected by the disaster. As he continues to heal, Thom remains focused on honoring those who did not make it and supporting the families left behind. His story of courage and survival has become a reminder of the strength shown by ordinary people during extraordinary moments as he moves ahead while carrying the memories of the MV Bereima tragedy. Adana Dorek, Ghana, TV9 News.
More news after the break. Do stay with us.
Want to place your death announcements and in memoriam messages on Channel 9? Call 592-761-5006, 710-5008, 600-5006. Or visit our office at Lot 85A Lamaha Street, Albertown, Georgetown, Century 21 Building.
Guyana Channel 9 is now Guy TV9, proudly under new management. We're building stronger with a balanced and open platform for all advertisers. Whether you're promoting a business, service, or event, your message belongs right here. So choose your spot, news, primetime, or anytime, and reach viewers across Guyana. With affordable rates and professional service, Guy TV9 is your partner in progress. So visit us at Lot 21A, Lamaha Street, Georgetown, in the Century 21 building, or call 600-5006 or 761-5006. Guyana TV9. New leadership, fresh outlook, real results.
Welcome back. You're watching Guyana TV9 News Bulletin. Prime Minister Brigadier Retired Mark Phillips says the captain and other crew members charged with murder in connection with the MV Bereima tragedy will continue to receive psychosocial support, stressing that they remain survivors of the devastating incident. Here's more in this report.
On Tuesday, MV Bereima Captain Kevin Price, called KP, Chief Mate Rondell Dwayne Roberts, and Goods Superintendent Dallon Granderson were formally charged with murder following investigations into the tragedy. The charges mark a significant development in the case, which claimed multiple lives and left several others traumatized. Despite the criminal proceedings, the Prime Minister said the three men are still recognized as survivors of the disaster and remain on the official survivors register. As such, They are entitled to the same counseling and psychosocial services being provided to other survivors and grieving families. Phillips emphasized that the government is not distinguishing between survivors based on whether they have been charged with a criminal offense. He maintained that the support program is intended to address the trauma experienced during the tragedy, regardless of an individual's legal circumstances.
The persons who are charged, they are also listed as survivors, and they're also listed on the survivors register, okay, and they are receiving psychosocial assistance like anybody else. We're not differentiating between whether you're charged and you're a survivor or whether you're a survivor and you're not being charged. Everybody listed on that register receive counseling.
The Prime Minister also noted that access to counseling would not end if the accused are remanded to prison. He explained that welfare officers and psychosocial services are available within the prison system to ensure they continue receiving the care they need.
In person, and you can have counseling in prison too. You have welfare officers who work in prison. Okay? So whether they are detained and they are passed through the court and they're in prison, they will still have access to all the necessary psychosocial care, right? Counseling, etc.
According to Prime Minister Phillips, the government's priority is ensuring that everyone affected by the MV Bereima tragedy has access to appropriate mental health support. He said the trauma associated with the incident extends beyond the legal process and requires continued attention. The murder charges against the 3 crew members are expected to proceed through the courts, while the government's psychosocial support program remains in place for survivors and bereaved families affected by the MV Bereima tragedy. Brad D'Souza reporting for Guyana TV9 News.
Now for your Caribbean news brief. Smallpox DNA is recovered from Spanish conquest era Chilean mummies. Researchers have uncovered the first direct molecular evidence confirming that smallpox was carried from Europe to the Americas during the early Spanish colonial period, where it devastated indigenous populations. Scientists recovered ancient viral DNA from the mummies of 2 people buried in an Incan community in northern Chile. Analysis showed they were infected with the extinct strain of variola virus, the pathogen that causes smallpox, linking it to the strains that circulated in medieval Europe. Historians believe Europeans introduced the disease after arriving in the Americas in 1492. With no prior exposure or natural immunity, indigenous communities suffered catastrophic population losses. Researchers say the findings provide the strongest genetic evidence yet supporting historical accounts of the smallpox epidemic, with the earliest documented outbreak recorded on the island of Hispaniola in 1518. Brazil has delayed formal approval of U.S. President Donald Trump's nominee for Ambassador Daniel Perez, deepening diplomatic tensions between the 2 countries. Perez, a Florida state representative and close ally of the U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, was nominated on June 1. However, Brazilian officials were reportedly upset that the nomination was announced before the United States sought Brazilian's diplomatic approval, known as BARIMA, which is standard protocol. Although Perez's nomination has cleared a U.S. Senate committee and is awaiting a full Senate vote, he cannot assume the post until Brazil grants its approval. The dispute could leave the U.S. without an ambassador in Brasilia ahead of Brazil's October elections, adding to already strained relations over trade and accusations of interference in domestic affairs. Now turning to the international news. At least 25 people have been confirmed dead after a powerful magnitude 7.1 earthquake struck Japan's Kumamoto region on the southern island of Kyushu. 9 additional deaths are still under investigation, while at least 86 people were injured, including 5 seriously. Rescue teams continue searching for survivors as thousands of residents remain in evacuation shelters or vehicles, with many afraid to return to damaged homes. Nearly 19,000 households are still without electricity, and some areas also remain without water. Authorities are now warning of heat-related illnesses as temperatures climb above 33 degrees Celsius, prompting a heat stroke alert for the affected region. Hundreds of migrants have crossed from Morocco into Spain's North African enclave of Ceuta, over the past week, placing increasing pressure on local authorities. Cuta's regional leader, Juan Jesus Visas, said the influx is overwhelming the territory's resources and has called on the Spanish government to intervene. Spain's interior minister is expected to visit the enclave on Friday. Video footage showed migrants swimming around the border using inflatable wings and other flotation devices, while others entered through a gate in the border fence. The exact number of arrivals remain unclear, with estimates ranging from hundreds to as many as 3,000 people in a single day. Officials also report that the bodies of 60 people have been recovered at sea in recent months, underscoring the dangers of the migration route. And those are the major headlines for tonight's newscast. For more trending stories, follow us at our Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube platforms at GUI TV9. I am Daniela Araújo. Thank you for watching. Be safe and bye for now.